Shalawam, Israel, Shalawam. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh. And we do so in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, whose real name is Yahawashi in Hebrew. That's Rawchaa Qadash. Right? And we're just touching in on a lesson on Hamashiach, the Messiah, Christ, Yahawashi. You know, and a little bit of his austerity and how he's just not this sweet Jesus who's going to come back and give hugs and kisses like all these Christians think. Right? So let's get into it. We're going to start off with probably the book of Luke, just to kind of get things rolling. But right, so we understand that through history, archaeology, and prophecy, that we are the children of Israel, right? Deuteronomy 28:68 says that we will be cursed, brought back into slavery again on ships, right? Deuteronomy 7:6 says we are a holy people, right? So you got to think that this is a consequence for us not following the laws that was given unto us, which is why Deuteronomy 28 says we'd be brought back into slavery. And it mentions all the curses that we will go through, and it mentions all the curses and how they will be switched onto our enemies when we keep the laws of God, right? But the Hamashiach, Yahawashi, he was that lamb without blemish or spot, right? He did not sin. I don't care what any of you Orthodox Christians or all these other religions, if you believe that Christ sinned, or if you don't even believe in him at all, you know, you're going down the wrong road, right? But anyways, we're gonna get it, right? It's the Salak. I have quite a few Bible apps, so it's like, you know. As a matter of fact, we're gonna start off with Isaiah, because in Luke, right, I was just gonna get how the Hamashiach is an austere man, right? So we already understand that he's an austere man, because in Luke it says, "I feared thee, O Lord, because thou art an austere man." Right? The disciples feared Yahawashi. They were even afraid to go up and ask him a question, because he had a fierce countenance. Right? Okay, so Isaiah 63, right? And it reads, "Who is this that cometh from Edom, with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, like him that treadeth in the wine fat?" Right? So Christ is going to come back, and he's going to spill a lot of blood. The wine fat, or the wine press, is synonymous for blood. And now how he's going to trample people in his anger and in his fury. Right? But we're going to get it. Right? It says, "I have trodden the wine press alone." Meaning Yahawashi was doing this by himself, right? He was looking around, right, to see who was righteous among us. And nobody was righteous among us. So Yahawashi took it, Most High took it upon himself to bestow his son the honor in redeeming his people. Right? Because he is the aristocrat. He is the one who this kingdom is built for. You know, and then after him, 144,000. The aristocrats. The first rules. The first ones fit to rule. The best ones fit to rule, might I say. Right? But he says, "I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there were none with me." See? Nobody was with Yahawashi when he was put on that cross. Yahawashi was by himself. Even Peter denied him thrice. So it's like, at the end of the day, you know, you got to do this walk alone if you have to. You got to do what you got to do, right? Kind of like me, for example. I'm a lone soldier in this truth, man. I got no brothers to my left, no brothers to my right, who are wholeheartedly going to die for this truth the way I'm willing to, right? Who's willing to put their own life, you know what I'm saying? But Yahawashi, these are the men that Yahawashi are coming to redeem, his elect. the ones who rejected this world, pushed his truth, and were crucified for it, man. Hey, but not all of us are going to be crucified, to that full extent. But you got to understand, we are the Israelites. We are cursed as a people. Deuteronomy 28, the curses are all up in there and throughout the scriptures. Right? But it says, and of the people there were none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garment, and I will stain all my raiments. See? Yahawashi is coming back to shed your blood, Esau. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered, but there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. So Yahawashi is on the scene, mad as hell. Yahawashi is on the scene, mad as hell. Right, now check this out. Just so you can get a little visual of this man who's on the scene, mad as hell, ready to wreak havoc on all things, right? Now just get this understanding, right? A warlike man. So it says, in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, meaning the menorah, when he was looking at the menorah, and in the midst of the menorah, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and the girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Right? So he had a girt about his paps, the golden girdle. It was a gold girdle around his waistline, his stomach area, right? In war times, that was to prevent you from getting, stabbed or gutted, if you will, and have your guts falling all over the place, right, during war. But watch this, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. And his feet are Salak, Israel, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. So Yahawashi Hamashiach. Now understand, this isn't a literal flame of fire. His eyes were just red because he drank wine in moderation. Right? Our Messiah loves to drink wine, and us Israelites, when we drink wine enough, our eyes begin to turn red. We're one of the only people whose eyes do that. Well, let's just say these Edomites' eyes don't turn red. And even if they do, so what? The point being is that Yahawashi's eyes were red because he drank wine in moderation. Right? Now, when we go to, I'm going to show you guys something, right? 2nd Ezra 13. Start at verse 3, right? So, and it says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with thousands of heaven. That man is talking about is Yahawashi, Christ, Hamashiach, one like Yahawashi. Now check this. That man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. So Yahawashi was a fierce man, a fierce countenance. Everything was scared the second he turned to their direction, right? Everything trembled. Imagine having that kind of power. First of all, Yasha, he Prince Power. He Prince God, Prince of God. Prince with the powers of God, man. Y'all gotta understand these translations, man. We're in these times where Esau is literally getting ready to come down with this great wrath that he has. He is about to come. And if you aren't ready, let's just put it like this, Israel. We got to get ready. We got to get ready fast. We got to keep these commandments to the absolute best of our ability. If you're not pushing this truth, you got to push this truth even a little bit. A little is better than nothing. Because Yahawashi said that many Many shall be called, but few shall be chosen. Not everybody's gonna get into this kingdom, man. So we gotta push this truth in some way, shape, fashion, and form. The Most High is putting His spirit on us to make these videos, and we gotta keep pushing it and keep doing this in sincerity and in truth. And that's the only way we're gonna get out of this kingdom, right? Because I want to get home. I want to get to the kingdom, get out of here, and meet Yahawashi. I'm trying to sit at the table and sup with Him and hear those words out of His mouth saying, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over few things, so I will make thee ruler over many." I want to hear those words, man. I want to hear those words. I don't know about you, but I want to hear those words. In this life, I have nothing that I'm living for but Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. So it's like at the end of the day, why waste time? Yeah, we all fall short of the glory of God. We're all going to fall short in this thing, right? Because our bodies, we're trapped in these chains of darkness. We got to understand that we're going to fall short. A wicked man will fall and fall and fall, but the righteous man will fall 7 times and get back up again. You got to fall a complete amount of times and still get up, man. You got to have faith in this thing. You got to have faith in your works. You got to have faith the most in Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi. Faith without works is dead, Israel. But look, it's a lot for the ranting and going on, but I just got to make it clear, like, we got to get out of here, man. We are nearly at the end of the last days. Like the end of the end. Like, I don't even think most of y'all don't truly understand what that means. We're at like the last minute of the hour. And every time the scriptures mention an hour, it's talking about the destruction. We're at the last minute of the hour. Probably under even a minute. It is real. So look, I'm outside still. But it says, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And then let's see under verse 4. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. So every time Yahawashi spoke, fire came out of his mouth. Understand the power behind that, man. That's the Most High. None of these pyromancers, none of that, none of these wickedness that this earth has to show for compares to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi's power and His might. Especially not Yahawashi, or Yahweh, should I say, who gives His power to the Son. But He, the Son, is the spitting image of the Father. So to piss off the Son is to piss off the Father. Plain and simple. I'm not really going to go on Israel, but the point is, Christ is not the sweet Jesus that everybody thinks. And when He comes back, and if you're not keeping these commandments, these law, statutes, and commandments, you will be burned along with the people who sit behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, the abomination, and the rat. All y'all gonna be consumed together. Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith Yahweh. And with that, I'm gonna give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahawashi, and Shalawam.